The iPhone 16 is now a month away, which is just insane to even say because I feel like just yesterday we were talking about iPhone 15 rumors and this new titanium design, which we finally have, which is where I think it's only acceptable that we start talking about iPhone 16 rumors. Now, we've gotten a lot of rumors over the past year and even really this past week. So we're going to just start off with pretty much everything we've known, thanks to our handy dandy Mac rumors. So first things first, there's going to be 4 models: 16, 16 Plus, 16 Pro, and 16 Pro Max. The Air, Slim, whatever the Apple may call it, is slated for the iPhone 17, which we have a year for, so not just yet. Now, I do think that these upgrades are going to be very interesting as the action button is coming to all the phones, the Apple Intelligence is also going to be coming to all the phones, and these upgrades are just kind of setting us for the future of the iPhone lineup because of the fact that these are going to be the first iPhones to support Apple Intelligence for every model, not just exclusive to the pros. This is going to be something that is going to be essentially the building blocks for the future Apple devices as Apple Intelligence becomes smarter. It may need more processing power and all of that. So we're going to kind of see how that all plays out in the future. So we're going to start off with probably something that I feel like a lot of people don't really want, which is unfortunately the fact that the iPhones are getting larger. So we currently have a 6.1 and 6.5 inch iPhone. So 6.1 is the 15 and 15 Pro, and then 6.7 is the 15 Plus and 15 Pro Max. Now we are going to 6.3 and 6.9. We're going up about 0.2 millimeters for the Pro and then 0.4 millimeters for the Pro Max and Plus and regular, respectively, which I just think is going to be very interesting as the iPhone is just getting larger. Now, the bezels are also rumored to be shrinking, so already more than the iPhone 15 Pro lineup. So if you already have that iPhone 15 Pro and you're going to upgrade to the 16, the bezels are going to be even smaller, which personally I am here for, just mainly because I feel like the bezel shrink to the 15 lineup was just very interesting, that I kind of think seeing that again with the 16, where we're essentially at that point going to be pretty close to edge, is just going to be so nice. Now, for the 16 and 16 Plus, we're going to get a vertical camera design similar to that of the iPhone 12, but it's almost like the iPhone 10. It's actually kind of interesting to see how Apple's going to do this, as they're doing it similar to the iPhone 12, but just keeping the flash outside and almost basically bringing back the iPhone 10 design by making it bigger, as you can see here in these pictures. And in these pictures, we also have the leaked dummy units for the iPhone 16 and also the 16 Pro, but we'll get to those in a second. Now, the 16 is rumored to come in these 5 colors, which from the looks of it, it looks like Apple got more ink in their printer this year, and the phone colors are just going to be so much better than the pastel colors we had this year with the 15, as I just felt they were so light that the blue iPhone almost looked white, and all the colors just kind of blended together. Unless you got the darker color, you really couldn't tell which one was which. So seeing that we're going to get a white, black, blue, green, and pink is also just very nice, as they look so good. The blue looks very vibrant, the pink looks vibrant, almost similar to the 15. The green is like a nice jade color, I feel, and then there's white and black, which I just think is going to be very nice. Now, of course, this isn't confirmed colors, as these are just dummy units and they can be tweaked and changed based off of the materials that Apple is using with the official lineup when they come out later this year. But that's what the camera layout looks like for the 16, which looks very nice. Now, we're also getting battery changes across the board. All of them, except for the 16 Plus, is getting a larger battery, which I just think is going to be so nice. And now, this is also where I feel Apple needs to do a lot with the iOS side of things and make iOS 18 be this basically battery management champion, and make it that iOS 18 has phenomenal battery life no matter what device you're on, because we are at the point of having very large batteries in the iPhones, which I definitely do think is necessary, just because of the fact the way that I feel consumers use their iPhone. I know personally, like, my 15 Pro Max has been able to get me through a day, but knowing that I can get just pretty much barely get through a day and kind of have to make sure I have a charger, by 8 o'clock, is something that I feel like for my lifestyle works out, but maybe not for others. And having that ability to have a battery that would last longer, and even software that can better manage that battery to make the bigger battery last longer, is just going to be a great thing. Now, we're also getting a new button on the iPhone, which, alright, I don't think is necessary. The action button, I can understand completely. Personally, my favorite feature of the 15 lineup was changing over to the action button, because I have actually used this button more than I think I've used the volume buttons on my iPhone, if I'm being honest. And that's just because of the fact that I always take my phone out of the box, immediately put it on silent before I turn it on, and it never gets taken off of silent. Now, I do have an Apple Watch, so that may be why I do that, but I feel it's the same for a lot of people, just because our phones can vibrate and notify us, or if you just turn it on mute, it's essentially you're in control. So personally, I've mapped my action button to just do not disturb, because I use do not disturb a lot more than I use my silent mode, for example. Now, we're going to get a bunch of camera upgrades. So the ultra wide for the Pro and Pro Max is going to get better and be 48 megapixels, which will just make the photos look a lot better. Now, there's going to be a super telephoto camera on the Pros. Now, we got 120 millimeters. Now it's rumored to go up to 300 millimeters for the Pro Max only, with the 120 millimeters making its way to the regular Pro, which I do kind of think is nice, but I do think it's weird that Apple is making consumers kind of pick, oh, you want the better camera, you have to go Pro Max and not Pro, and get that bigger phone, which you may not want. We're going to get faster Wi-Fi with Wi-Fi 6E and 7, so that honestly, to the average consumer and myself, it's going to be faster Wi-Fi if you have a Wi-Fi 7 router or Wi-Fi 6E. That's really all it is. There's really nothing else to say. We're going to get new A18 chips, which are going to be more powerful, which I do believe is going to help with the battery improvements, as I mentioned before, as these are supposed to be 3nm chips, which is just essentially the next iteration of chips. That just means it's ultimately going to be faster because there's so much packed into it, and it'll also enable Apple Intelligence across the iPhone 16 lineup, which is going to be very nice to have. Now, the action button is coming to all the iPhones, and there's even going to be faster charging with the Pro models. Unfortunately, it doesn't seem like that's going to trickle down to the regular user just yet. So we're going to have 40-watt wire charging and then 20-watt MagSafe charging. So this is definitely very nice, because if you use MagSafe, you know it's kind of slow. I know personally I use MagSafe and it's 15 watts and that's it. Although personally, I think it's fine, just because of the fact that there's no reason to really charge my phone faster, and if I want to, I have USB-C and other options. But I do think it'll be nice that it can support faster charging if you need it. And probably the last feature that I'm so excited for is a new thermal design. So if you have an iPhone 15 Pro or Pro Max, because of the switch over to titanium, you've probably noticed your iPhone gets hot. I know back in September when these phones came out, there was headlines everywhere about your phones running hot, and that was because Apple messed up. Yes, but also these phones don't really have a way to cool themselves. It's really just kind of like let the heat dissipate and like stop using your phone, which is why you get that black heat warning and just are supposed to be like, yep, I gotta just wait. Now, it's supposed to be a graphene thermal system, which is going to add a metal battery casing, which would help reduce overheating, which the graphene has high thermal conductivity, which is going to allow for essentially a larger graphite sheet to essentially take that heat away from the logic board and dissipate it later on. We talked about the iPhone 16 dummy units a couple of minutes ago, but now let's talk about the Pro dummy units. So we got 3 of them right here, and the camera design is staying the same, so it really doesn't seem there's going to be a big way to tell what your iPhone is without kind of looking at the front and seeing, oh, the slimmer bezels and all of that, and of course the capture button, which is going to launch your camera. Now, it's rumored to come in black, white, or silver. We're not 100% sure on this. Gray or natural titanium, a rose or rose gold color as well. Now, in this picture, we did get 3 of them. We got the white, black, and this natural titanium, which I'm assuming just because of the way it looks, a lot of people are saying that it is gray, not natural titanium. I know personally, I think I'm going white titanium again. I've just loved the way it's looked on my 15 Pro Max, as it just looks so clean, and even when I throw on like my black MagSafe wallet, for example, it just kind of classes it up, I feel, and makes it almost look like an Oreo or something like that. It reminds me of, and it just looks so nice, and it can go with whatever I want to match it with, like with red or blue, green, yellow, really whatever color, and it doesn't look bad like I have had with other colors. And now this black also does look very good too, as I feel this year's black was a little lighter than this one. It just looks, it almost reminds me of the jet black color we had back with the 7 Plus and 7, which is just so nice because it's truly a rich black. And then natural titanium is looking the same. And now the rose color and or gray we have not seen yet. I do think it would kind of be nice to get a gray, almost like the space gray we had back in the day, just that color, because I feel that would just kind of allow users, if they truly want that like new colorway, you can kind of bring back an old one. But I do kind of feel like you would have the black, the white, the gray, and then like a pink would kind of be interesting. Although personally, just give us colors on the Pro lineup. That's something I feel every consumer would want. And hey, maybe get rid of the regular lineup and just kind of go back to the two phones and make them a little cheaper. But that's just my thoughts, because I feel like it would just make it easier for consumers. And also, Apple wouldn't have 4 different phones all running the same operating system, but have to kind of pick and choose which one gets each feature. And it would be like, here's your choices. Do you want big or small? And that would be it. Just like they had back in the day. And it just was so much easier. But let me know what your thoughts are down below with a comment, because this is shaping up to be a very interesting upgrade, it seems. And I want to hear from you. So leave a comment down below what your thoughts are on this, because I just think this is going to be a very interesting upgrade cycle this year. And while you're down there, if you want to hit like and subscribe, I'd appreciate that as well. But I want you to remember, today's a good day to make a great day, and I'll talk to you in the next one. Peace.